12 minutes before 7 o'clock, and we start with breaking news from overnight. Fargo police are trying to get to the bottom of a fight in downtown Fargo that involved at least 3 people and 2 knives. It happened just after 1 a.m. on the sidewalk near Dempsey's. A witness told police that there were women arguing when a man jumped between them and pulled out a knife, apparently to break up the fight. Then one of the women pulled out a knife of her own. No word on any arrests or injuries.
A very good Wednesday morning, everyone, and thank you so much for waking up with the Valley today. Kyle Bosch here with Lisa Bedone. We're just getting started with non-stop news and weather all the way up to the top of the hour to help you plan your day. And we start with a story that is just tragic in all of its forms. The Park Christian School community coming together to grieve and remember 2 high school basketball stars who were on a path to becoming much more. Last night, hundreds of people packed the Park Christian School gymnasium where Zach and Connor Quolvog played. The 2 were killed yesterday morning in a 1-car rollover on their way to a basketball tournament. Coaches say Zach and Connor inspired teammates and each other as brothers, but their dedication and drive went far beyond the court.
Halfway through last year, we promoted Connor from just a JV player to being able to sit on our varsity bench. And the smile that was on his face, I've never seen him smile so big.
Zach was my leader without a doubt. I think, Beth, you came to a number of games, but you know that he was a captain as a sophomore. That's almost unheard of. And that's voted by his teammates, so you know what kind of leader he was. He was one that made the people around him better. We would have never made it to the state without his leadership.
The crash happened south of Fergus Falls on I-94 in Ottertail County yesterday. The Minnesota State Patrol says Zach was driving the pickup when it hit the shoulder of I-94. He overcorrected and the vehicle rolled into the median.
Now, another Park Christian student, Mark Schwant, was also in the truck and he was hurt in the crash. School officials say he is doing relatively well at Lake Region Healthcare in Fergus Falls. The 4th boy in the truck is Jimmy Morton. He's from Mississippi and suffered a head trauma. He was transported to Sanford Health in Fargo.
It's now coming up on 6:51. Time for weather and traffic on the ones, and we start with checking in with Mick here on this Wednesday morning.
Thank you, and we check out the weather. It looks pretty good. We see some clearing west and into the Fargo-Moorhead area. By 9 a.m., isolated shower, the computer modeled all of them, really. Have not done a real good job with being precise this summer. And this is another example of it. This day may not be exactly like this, but we should be about 75 at noon. We'll likely get about 78 to 80 this afternoon. And certainly there will be isolated thunderstorms here this afternoon and this evening in southeastern North Dakota. The evening temperatures in the 70s, just like yesterday. And tomorrow morning, just like this morning, 55 to 60. Tomorrow morning, we didn't see much for the Aurora Borealis event overnight, and likely because we're getting further away from that solar storm, we'll likely won't see any tomorrow morning, but we'll have fewer clouds tomorrow than this morning than the overnight was. On the way again to about 82 for tomorrow, a little more sunshine tomorrow than today, and should be a good day on Thursday. Today, partly cloudy, isolated thunderstorm in southeastern North Dakota. 70s to about 80 west central Minnesota, mostly sunny, an isolated thunderstorm. Northwest Minnesota and northeast North Dakota, the same story, isolated shower or thunderstorm. And where it rains, and if it rains right at 5 o'clock, well, along Highway 200 could be some upper 60s there. Otherwise, 70s to about almost 80 is the forecast. Overnight, there was a few rumbles of thunder moving across northwest Minnesota. At the moment, we have some thunderstorms out there, southeastern parts of Montana, moving out of southwestern South Dakota into north central Nebraska, but all the way up to Pierce, South Dakota. It's raining. Our temperatures in the low 60s now, and under partly cloudy sky, Grand Forks, you're at 61. Fargo-Moorhead, almost clear out there with a few clouds to the east. It's 65. Traffic update time from Al Ahmed.
You really need to watch it around the ramps. I'll tell you something, it's really congested from time to time. And to be honest with you, I thought I was going to be the meat in the sandwich here just a couple of minutes ago. coming off 25th Street South. Traffic is very, very heavy. Some folks are allowing for a merge. Some folks are not. Some folks are driving at the speed limit. Some folks are way under that. It's an adventure. There's no two ways about that. Again, traffic's really heavy on Interstate 29 northbound, and traffic is quite heavy as well on westbound I-94. It's just plain getting thick out here. Drive carefully this morning. Willamette Valley Today traffic.
6:53, turning back to your news headlines, and new for you this morning, the captain of UND's 2001 National Championship football team has died from injuries he suffered in a motorcycle crash in Thailand. The Grand Forks Herald reports 36-year-old Travis O'Neill died yesterday after his motorcycle collided with a truck 4 days earlier.
O'Neill was from Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and played at UND from 1997 through 2001. After graduating, he went overseas to teach in Costa Rica, Thailand, and the Philippines. We're going to find out more today about two murders in Fargo this week at a 10 a.m. news conference. Ashley Hunter is accused of murdering 45-year-old Clarence Flowers Monday and a 25-year-old man whose body was discovered yesterday.
Family and friends have confirmed to Valley News Live that Flowers, the victim, did know Hunter, the alleged killer, and apparently the two had gotten into a fight just a few weeks ago. Now, the second murder was discovered early yesterday morning when firefighters responded to reports of smoke coming from a home near the NDSU campus. That's when they found the body of the second victim inside the house. It is not clear yet if Hunter also knew the 25-year-old victim.
We're also expecting to hear more from the Clay County Sheriff's Office this morning about the shooting of a 22-month-old girl in Felton, Minnesota last Friday. Clay County authorities arrested 24-year-old Fernando Roca for felony reckless endangerment. There's still no word on the condition of the child or who else may have been involved in this shooting. The doctor of a Fargo baby who died at a daycare earlier this month says an accident would not have caused the injuries that ultimately killed the infant.
Owen Skoji was found unresponsive at a West Fargo home daycare and later died from what authorities say was blunt force trauma to the head. Now, a search warrant issued by the state says that Skoji's doctor said the injuries occurred around the time of the 911 call from the daycare. Doctors also found fractures to Skoji's head and damage around his eyes, with a CAT scan revealing blood around his brain. Doctors say that both could have come from the recent incident, but also possibly from an older situation. Police are now trying to track down the person who made a phone call about guns at a South Fargo business, which led to a closure of part of South University Drive last night. The patio of the nearby Cork and Cleaver restaurant also had to be evacuated while police set up a perimeter.
Police were called to Catalyst Motors just off of South University Drive. The owner and an employee were initially taken into custody, but police did not find any guns. It's been more than a year now of construction for the new Sanford Medical Center, Fargo, and soon the exterior will be complete.
Yeah, a lot of work we've been seeing going up as you drive by it on I-94. The Valley Today's Christy Larson. She's not only looking at the work going on outside the building, but is also inside that new medical center with an update. Christy?
Good morning, Kyle and Lisa. As you can see, I am lying on the table, the operating table, ready to get my, I think I'd have gallbladder surgery first, get that out of the way, get that surgery done with. But we just wanted to give you a little look at one of the operating rooms inside of this new building. And Phil here, you were going to be my surgeon this morning, right?
Not quite, but I can talk about the room a little bit. This is one of 26 operating rooms that we will have functional day one here. As you can see, they're quite large. One of the benefits of having this large of operating room is it gives us a lot of flexibility with the types of cases and procedures that we're going to do here.
And I know you guys have everything planned down to the T, and that's really what you guys are doing, is making sure that every step of the way, as you're staying on schedule, it's being put in as well as you guys have planned it.
That's correct. There's a lot of pre-task planning, a lot of coordination that happens before anything happens in the field. One of the big items that we're doing quite heavily is a lot of our 3D building. We actually build this in the virtual world first. It's called 3D modeling. So we build it first to look for clashes and look for any issues that potentially happen in the field, and that also helps us with quality and schedule.
And you guys have also made sure that everyone's been staying safe on site. I know I've thrown a few wrenches your way this morning trying to touch everything I see, but it's really a safe place to work too for all the people working on site.
Yes, safety is number one. Like Mortensen's mantra is safety, quality, production. So safety is at the top of everybody's minds, as you can see with all the PPE that we made you put on today. That safety is definitely at the forefront of everything on this project. So.
And this also has not only helped create and expand a lot of people's jobs in the area, but also once this is up and running and functional, it will create even more. It's been helping the economy. And Kyle and Lisa, I think I need a little more anesthesia before I go down for my operation here.
Your gallbladder surgery is just get it out of the way. I guess.
That's like, what surgery is she going to have? Of course, gallbladder.
Gallbladder. That's what everybody immediately thinks of when they think of surgery.
Christy Larson, keeping us on our toes. Thank you. Let's get her answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. The #1 smell most children recognize is flowers, but we want to know, what is #2?
The answer is pizza. Oh, of course.
Kids love pizza.
Oh, yeah. It's a delicious smell. Adults is probably my #1 smell that I recognize or salivate for.
I'm happier if my husband comes home with a pizza than if he comes with flowers.
You can take part in our question of the morning every Monday through Friday on our Valley News Live Facebook page.
All right, let's check out the forecast, which is pretty good. Got a good summer's day coming here with about 62 to begin. Had a couple of sprinkles, and now we see some clearing. A partly cloudy, warm, muggy, a good summer day. 75 to about 80 this afternoon. Isolated thunderstorm coming this afternoon, although nothing happening out there right now.
Thanks for waking up with the Valley today. Remember, we'll have more local news, weather, and traffic for you right here in just 25 minutes.
Have a great Wednesday, everybody. We will see you tomorrow morning.